Welcome. I'm Alex Carter, and today we journey into the hidden shadows of England's past, stories of tragedy, mystery, and terror that shaped this nation. Let's begin our descent into the dark side of England. In 1348, a mysterious and deadly plague known as the Black Death swept into England, forever altering the course of its history. The disease had already ravaged much of Europe, and its arrival on English shores sparked terror and confusion among the population. The plague was carried by fleas that infested black rats, which in turn traveled aboard merchant ships from distant lands. These ships docked at busy ports, unknowingly unleashing the deadly infection into crowded towns and villages. Within just a few years, the Black Death claimed the lives of up to 60% of England's population. Entire villages were wiped out, fields were left to grow wild, and once bustling marketplaces fell eerily silent. The sheer scale of loss was unimaginable, and the very fabric of society seemed to unravel. Fear and suspicion spread almost as quickly as the disease itself. Families were torn apart, with loved ones forced to isolate or abandon each other in desperate attempts to avoid infection. Communities that once thrived on cooperation now faced mistrust and isolation, as the threat of contagion turned neighbor against neighbor. Yet, from this devastation emerged profound change. With so many lives lost, surviving peasants found themselves in higher demand, able to demand better wages and improved living conditions. The rigid old feudal system began to crumble, and the balance of power slowly shifted, paving the way for a new social order in England. The Black Death was both a tragedy of unimaginable scale and a turning point in English history. Its legacy was one of sorrow, but also of transformation, as the country rebuilt itself in the aftermath, forever changed by the shadow of the plague. The Tower of London, iconic, its silhouette instantly recognizable against the London skyline, has stood for nearly 1,000 years as a symbol of both majesty and menace. Yet beneath its grand exterior lies a dark legacy, infamous as a place of imprisonment, torture, and execution, where the walls have witnessed countless tragedies. Nobles, queens, and scholars met their end here, Anne Boleyn, Catherine Howard, Thomas More, and Lady Jane Grey among them. Their stories are woven into the very fabric of the tower, each one a tale of ambition, betrayal, and loss. Torture devices like the rack, designed to stretch the human body to its limits, and the scavenger's daughter, a cruel invention that compressed its victims, extracted confessions through unimaginable pain. Public executions on Tower Green were spectacles meant to instill fear and reinforce royal authority, drawing crowds who watched history unfold in blood and silence. The executioner's block stands as a chilling reminder of the fate that awaited those who defied the crown. The tower's ancient stones echo with centuries of fear, sorrow, and whispered secrets, haunted by the memories of those lost within its walls. Today, as visitors walk its grounds, the tower stands as a powerful reminder of the brutal cost of power and the enduring human stories etched into its stones. In 1888, Jack the Ripper terrorized London's East End, murdering women with chilling precision. The killer's identity remains a mystery, fueling endless speculation and fear. The Ripper's legacy is a haunting reminder of evil lurking in the shadows. In the early hours of September 2, 1666, a seemingly minor spark in a bakery on Pudding Lane ignited what would become one of the most devastating disasters in London's history. Fanned by strong winds and fueled by the city's timber buildings, the flames quickly grew out of control, leaping from house to house and street to street. For 4 relentless days the fire raged, consuming everything in its path and blanketing the city in thick, choking smoke. Over 13,000 homes, countless businesses, and the iconic St. Paul's Cathedral were reduced to ashes. Terrified residents grabbed what they could and fled towards the River Thames, desperate to escape the inferno. Official records reported surprisingly few deaths, but the true toll remains uncertain, as many victims may have vanished without a trace in the chaos. In the aftermath, survivors wandered through smoldering ruins, searching for loved ones and remnants of their former lives. Yet, from this devastation, Londoners found resilience. The city was rebuilt with stone and brick, determined to rise stronger and safer than before. Today, memorials and plaques remind us of the tragedy, and the story of the Great Fire continues to shape London's identity. The fire not only transformed the city's landscape, but also left a lasting mark on its people, forever altering the course of London's history. The witch hunts of the 16th and 17th centuries saw thousands, mostly women, accused and executed for witchcraft. Accusations often stemmed from superstition, personal grudges, or misfortune. Torture and tests like swimming led to confessions and deaths. The era stands as a dark warning of fear overpowering reason. Hampton Court Palace is famed for its beauty and its ghosts. Catherine Howard's screams are said to echo in the haunted gallery, while other spirits roam the halls. Even security cameras have captured unexplained phenomena. The palace's haunted reputation is a chilling link to its tragic past. Medieval justice was public and brutal. Stocks, pillories, and the scold's bridle for humiliation, hanging, drawing, and quartering for treason. Torture devices enforced confessions and obedience. Punishments were designed to terrify and control. The spectacle of pain was a tool of power. Victorian workhouses, born from the 1834 Poor Law, were grim refuges for the destitute. Families were separated, inmates stripped of dignity, and forced into hard, pointless labor. The workhouse was a prison for the poor, especially cruel to children and the vulnerable. It stands as a stark symbol of institutionalized suffering. London's East End bred notorious gangs, razor-wielding criminals who ruled through violence and fear. The Cray twins epitomized this era, mixing brutality with celebrity. Organized crime thrived in the city's shadows, shaping its underworld. In 1483, two royal brothers, Edward V and Richard, vanished in the Tower of London after their uncle seized the throne. Their disappearance remains unsolved, with theories of murder, escape, and betrayal. Skeletons found centuries later deepen the mystery. The fate of the princes is one of England's greatest historical enigmas. Their story haunts the nation's conscience. In 1612, the Pendle witch trials saw 12 accused, mostly from rival poor families, condemned by the testimony of a child. Poverty, superstition, and fear fueled the tragedy. 10 were hanged, including the child's own family. The case is a chilling example of hysteria and injustice. The demand for bodies in medical schools led to the rise of resurrection men, grave robbers who supplied fresh corpses. Families guarded graves and cemeteries installed iron cages for protection. The trade ended after public outrage and the Anatomy Act of 1832. It was a grim chapter in the pursuit of science. Beneath London lies a labyrinth of tunnels, some for transport, others for war, secrecy, or crime. The Churchill war rooms and deep shelters protected leaders and citizens during WE2. Forgotten passages aided criminals and fueled legends of royal intrigue. London's hidden underworld is a city of secrets beneath the streets. In 1952, the Great Smog suffocated London, trapping toxic coal smoke and reducing visibility to inches. Transport halted, and thousands died from respiratory failure. The disaster forced new clean air laws. The smog was a deadly wake-up call about pollution. It changed how England viewed its environment. England's empire brought wealth, but also exploitation, violence, and the slave trade. Colonies were stripped of resources, and millions suffered under imperial rule. Atrocities like the Amritsar massacre and forced labor left deep scars. The legacy of empire is complex and painful. Understanding it is essential to grasping England's true history. Bedlam, the world's oldest psychiatric hospital, became a byword for cruelty and chaos. Patients endured chains, filth, and torture disguised as treatment. The asylum was a public spectacle, with visitors gawking at the suffering. Only in the 19th century did reforms bring hope for humane care. The Hope Diamond's curse took root in England, where it was recut and passed through the hands of the Hope family. Financial ruin and scandal followed its owners. The diamond's dark reputation grew, cementing its legacy of misfortune. Beauty and tragedy became inseparable in its English chapter. In Victorian London, Spring-Heeled Jack terrorized with his devilish appearance and supernatural leaps. He attacked women, breathing fire and vanishing over rooftops. Panic and speculation swept the city, but he was never caught. Spring-Heeled Jack remains a bizarre, enduring urban legend. In 1974, the nanny of the Lucan family was murdered, and Lady Lucan attacked. She named her estranged husband, Lord Lucan, as the assailant. Lucan vanished, sparking a global manhunt and decades of rumors. Despite being declared dead, his fate remains unknown. The Lucan case is a modern mystery of murder and disappearance. The Hellfire Caves in Buckinghamshire hosted the notorious Hellfire Club, an elite society indulging in pagan rituals and hedonism. The cave's design evoked a descent into the underworld. Tales of debauchery and political intrigue abound, though some are exaggerated. The caves are a monument to the hidden vices of the elite. Pluckley, a picturesque Kent village, is famed as England's most haunted place. Ghosts haunt its church, crossroads and woods. Stories of the White Lady, highwaymen, and phantom coaches abound. The village draws ghost hunters and the curious alike. Pluckley's legends are a chilling finale to our journey. We've explored England's darkest chapters, from plague and fire to ghosts and unsolved mysteries. These stories reveal the nation's complex soul, shaped by both triumph and tragedy. Thank you for joining me. Share which tale intrigued you most, and subscribe for more journeys into the world's hidden histories. The shadows of the past are never far away.